Hi, my name is John Tetzloff with Tetzloff Yacht Sales in Stillwater, Minnesota, and we're filming our second episode of Big Boating on Minnesota Waterways. And we have four folks here that can answer some questions for us that pertain to some good boating information. We have Sergeant Tim Harris from the Washington County Sheriff's Office. He's in charge of the Water, Parks, and Trail Unit. We have Minnesota Conservation Officer Joseph Kullhanek from the Hastings office. We have Eric Wolf, co-owner of Wolf Marina in Stillwater, and we have Gary Hardtke, who's the co-owner of Alma Marina in Alma, Wisconsin. And we're going to go ahead and start out with Officer Harris, and he's going to give us a little background on himself before we start.
Yeah, my name's Sergeant Tim Harris. I'm in charge of the Water Parks and Trails unit as far as the operations, which include our boating season, our boat patrol that took place this last year in 2014. Through that, and also our last presentation we did, we covered a bunch of different questions, and we'll be going over that today. So.
Okay. And in a note here, you had mentioned that there were 700 citations and warnings that were issued in the 2014 season.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That includes all the waterways, Mississippi, St. Croix River, and then all of our lakes within the county.
Great. What watercraft must be licensed?
Through those questions we went through last time, I took our top four violations that we had out of those 700 and also included any type of new or law changes that we had take place here. And the watercraft license happened to be one of them. That was actually number 3 of a list of items that were the most stopped or given citations or warnings here this last season. The answer to that also is that there are some exceptions, but generally all motorized and non-motorized vessels must be licensed by the DNR, which includes motorboats, rowboats, sailboats, stand-up paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, paddle boats, rowing shells, sculls, and inflatable craft. New of this year, starting in December 8th, paddleboards have to have their license, but they don't have to have it displayed like they had to have prior to this. They just have to have it on possession while they're using using that paddleboard. So.
Okay, great. What are some PFD requirements needed on a watercraft?
The personal flotation device requirements. This happened to be the number 4 on our list of things that boaters were cited for or issued warnings for this last summer. On all boats, regardless of the length, including canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, duck boats, there must be a readily accessible U.S. Coast Guard approved personal flotation device, and it's got to be a type 1, type 2, type 3, or type 5, and it must be, like I said, readily accessible. This last year, we were able to see people buying brand spanking new packages of 3 or 4 flotation devices, personal flotation devices, but they're still wrapped in the cellophane and the mesh pack, and they're stowed somewhere where they can't have access to them. And it's there for an emergency. That's why they need to have them readily accessible. Boats longer than 16 feet have to have a type 4 throwable as well. That does not count as part of that personal flotation device. So that's a separate piece that they would need to have. PFDs must be worn on all personal watercraft, so you get into the ski-doos, the jet skis, and then they also have to be worn by children under the age of 10 years old. So anytime that boat is underway, those 10-year-olds, 10 and under, have to have those PFDs on. And it's got to be appropriate size too, so you can't have an adult wearing an infant size PFD or an infant wearing like an adult size PFD.
Sure. And I know the big question, you had mentioned that underway they have to wear them, but in a houseboat, they're inside, they're in the galley or whatever, they still have to wear those.
They're underway. They have to have it under.
Okay, great. What is required to stop aquatic invasive species?
Well, I'm going to turn this question over to Conservation Officer Kullhanek.
With the aquatic invasive species, every time that your boat is removed from the water, all aquatic vegetation and aquatic wildlife need to be removed from that vessel inside and out. You need to do a walk around, remove any weeds that are on the bunks, rollers of the trailer, outside of the vessel. If you're out fishing, hauling in anchor lines, a lot of times you'll get that inside the vessel as well. They need to be cleaned off your anchor ropes, debris that's fallen inside of that vessel as well. Along with that, you need to drain all water out of the vessel from the bilge, live wells, bait containers, all that stuff. The water needs to be all the way out of the boat and then taken care of that way. Bait needs to be disposed of in the trash if you're going to be leaving that body of water. We also will recommend, if you do need to take the bait with you, the water needs to be emptied. You need to bring water in your vehicle with you, and you can change that water out with fresh tap water from home, or if there's like a fish cleaning house or something like that where there's fresh water available, you can change that water out. But once that water goes out in your boat onto the body of water that you're on, it cannot come off and be transported anywhere.
Okay. And are there folks at these ramps that assist with the surveying the vessels at all?
Yes, a lot of boat ramps around the area are going to have either county watercraft inspectors or DNR watercraft inspectors at them. As boats are coming in and out, they're helping ensure that people are educating the people with the laws and how they need to go about making sure that they're not transporting any aquatic invasive species, as well as doing checks themselves to make sure that you are okay to leave or enter the waterway at the access site.
Okay, great.
John, with that being said, Washington County was awarded a state grant specifically to deal with aquatic invasive species. And some of the things we're looking at is to control, prevent, educate, or enforce any of those violations that are out there to try to get or to minimize or reduce any of those AIS that might be underwater. We do have a competitive application process that is being formulated as far as what waterways we're going to be looking at and what plans are already set up that would be fit with what the county board is looking for these things. So it's kind of exciting to see what this is going to go as far as what we can do to help that out. But as far as people at the boat launches, this is something that we could see down the line is inspection points coming through at those boat launches.
Great news. What is the alcohol concentration for impaired motorboat operation?
That's the same as is a motor vehicle. It's that 0.08. Unfortunately, this year we did have 7 DWI or BWI arrests, or boating while intoxicated, and that was on everything from Mississippi, St. Croix River to some of our lakes within the county. And it's nothing different than it is on the roadways, that 0.08, and our goal is to get that down to 0 and to make everybody safe on the water.
Okay, great. What are the laws dealing with personal watercraft, PWC?
The reason why we have this one listed is because of all the crashes that we did deal with this last summer, which we're very fortunate. We have very few of them, very few personal injury crashes. Personal watercraft, or PWCs, were the ones that seem to be the most the highest piece in that on those crashes. And so I'll kind of review it real quick, but those rules should be posted within view of the operator and listed right in front of them so they can see what those are. And I'll kind of go over them real quick. Just for reference, PWCs are sometimes known as jet skis, the wave runners, or sea-doos. They're considered motorboats and must abide by the same thing, carrying or wearing a personal flotation device, type 1, type 2, type 3, or type 5. Slow no wake speeds within 150 feet of any non-motorized boat, shore, docks, swim craft, swim rafts, swimmers, or any moored or anchored boats. They're only allowed to operate between 9:30 in the morning and 1 hour before sunset. They don't have any navigational lights, so once they start pushing it, they become definitely a hazard, not only to themselves but other boaters that are on the water. If they are equipped with any type of engine shutoff, they need to have that connected through a lanyard onto their person or onto their personal flotation device. They can't chase or harass wildlife, and they can't travel greater than no wake through emergent or any type of floating vegetation. And they can't operate in a negligent or a reasonable danger, or in a reasonable way that's going to cause danger or risk property. They can't weave through the congested traffic or jump wakes 150 feet of other watercraft, including another PWC. So once again, those things are supposed to be listed right on the DNR sticker, and they can be provided to the PWC owners. They have those things readily available, so if they do have questions, they're all listed on there.
Cool. All right. What are the most common calls received by the Water Patrol?
This one I answered last time, and it's the same we had going through this last summer here too, is the boaters in distress, the no wake violations, the noise violations, and personal watercraft conduct. The reason why I have this one listed is because the no wake violations was actually number 1 on our list this last year for boaters being cited or warned for. Obviously, we had an extended no wake period on the St. Croix River that took us well past July 4th season, which will influx some of those numbers here for us. But that was one of the top lists. And the boaters need to be reminded that that slow no wake is speed just enough to maintain steerage and no greater than 5 miles per hour is that slow no wake.
Super.
The added piece with this is municipalities this year were allowed to be able to set no wake violations within lakes in their jurisdictions. And so you're going to start seeing some of the local lakes be able to set restrictions based on the water level. So I highly recommend boaters to take a look at the boat launches or look at the city's websites to see what type of water level it's at and if there's any type of no wakes that are set up.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going to go to Eric Wolf at Wolf Marina, and he's going to give us a little background on himself.
Eric Wolf from Wolf Marina. It's a family-run, operated marina. Been around since 1957. Was raised in Stillwater. Graduated high school in Stillwater. I'm a merchant mariner captain. Have a 100-ton license. I have the endorsements of Western Rivers and Streams, Great Lakes, near coastal waters. Been working at the marina for 36 years. Been in an owner-operator position there for the last 10. Been boating on the St. Croix for most of my life.
You've been around the St. Croix?
I have.
All right. Okay, well, what is the advantage of having a marina on the north end of Stillwater?
Being on the north end of Stillwater there, you're close to the national park, camping on the real popular Mile Long Island there. It's calm waters it's good waters for water skiing, wakeboarding, fishing, and in my opinion, it's probably the most scenic area of the river.
Very beautiful up there. Okay, what are the advantages of being off the main channel?
One of the advantages of being off the main channel is you don't get the boat weight. It's relatively calm, and you don't get the wind in the current, and it makes for much easier docking your boat.
Okay. How do you think the new Gateway Browns Creek Trail will affect Stillwater?
I think it's going to be a great thing for Stillwater. I think you're going to see a lot of the boaters take advantage of it, from Wolf Marina to Stillwater to Sunnyside. I think it's going to bring a lot of business to the Stillwater area. I think it's just going to be a short walk, excuse me, from Stillwater to the marinas. So I think people are going to take advantage of it.
Okay. What is transient dockage and how does it help promote Stillwater?
Transient dockage allows from other boaters from other marinas to rent slips temporarily at a marina. It allows the boater to enjoy the amenities of the marina that they're going to stay at. They can use the showers and restrooms, ship stores, and it gives them an opportunity to stick around and walk to town and enjoy the town.
Okay. And what's the advantage of slipping a boat?
I think the big thing is it's easy. You get on the boat and go. Convenience is huge. It also allows the boater to become familiar with the marina and its surroundings. I think the biggest thing is that you become part of the boating community. You'll be around people who have the same interests as you, and you'll become friends with other people in the marina. I've seen many people become lifetime friends from just boating at a marina.
Great. All right. What are some of the amenities that a marina can provide?
The amenities that most marinas provide is dockage for one, launching services, gas docks, pump outs, ship stores, picnic areas, showers, laundry facilities. A lot of them have Wi-Fi, cable TV, and the big one is probably for repairs and maintenance.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to go to Gary Hardtke. He's the co-owner of the Alma Marina on the Mississippi in Wisconsin, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself.
Thanks, John. Gary Hardtke is my name. I'm born and raised in southern Minnesota. Been boating virtually my whole life. Started out with a boat when I was probably 14 years old and built a boat, and just recently built a 65-foot boat. So pretty much been in the boating all my life, and went from being a boater to a boater plus a marina owner about 7 years ago.
Great. All right, so what's the advantage of having a slip on the Mississippi River in Alma?
Well, I think the first thing we offer when that question is asked is we have 57 miles of unobstructed boating, meaning you don't have to go through a lock to enjoy either the Lake Pepin area or the waterway between Alma and the Red Wing Lock. Again, 57 miles away. So you've got a relatively large body of water, and a good portion of it is a long ways away from a major population, so you've got a very comfortable boating area.
Okay. And how is the water quality in the Mississippi River these days?
In 1969, you couldn't see the bottom of Lake Pepin, nor could you traverse the lake without seeing pea soup. Today you can throw an anchor out in 10 to 15 feet of water, and you can actually see it on the bottom of the lake. So we've done a great job, and thanks to the state of Minnesota and whoever else was involved, it's evolved from a mess to a lovely piece of water.
That is a good thing. All right, what are the some of the amenities that Alma Marina can provide?
We have all the amenities I would believe that most larger marinas would have. Eric suggested he had the prettiest body of area around. I guess I would question that Alma wasn't close to the exact same stats. We also have a swimming beach right on the main channel. We have tennis courts, we have playgrounds, we have ball diamonds, and I guess above all, we have no walkways or steps for any of our guests to get to their boats, and a typical walk from their boat to their car is about 40 feet.
Okay. Where do you draw your clients from, your boaters? What area?
When we purchased the marina, the good portion of the tenants came from the population area of Rochester and Eau Claire. Recent years, maybe due to costs of slips, about 35% of our people come from the lower metro.
Okay. Has flooding affected your marina much?
We've had several years of above average water, and I guess that's a slight exaggeration when you think last year that we actually didn't boat until after the 4th of July. Major impact on our business, and of course everybody that owned a boat ended up with the same results. They really weren't boating until after the 4th of July.
Could they get to their boats though? And
in our marina, we're a bit higher than almost all the marinas, so our ship store and most of our facilities are all above water. They actually did have to walk through about 6 inches to a foot of water to get to their boat.
But that's something a boater will do. All right. What are some of the common themes that you see around the marina?
The theme is enjoy your boat, spend the day on the water, travel to the lake, spend the afternoon with your friends and family. Again, I suggested we've got facilities within 40 feet, so they use the picnic tables, the fire pits, and pretty much create a family atmosphere.
Super. All right. Well, I thank you, gentlemen, for the great answers. And I really want to thank the 3 guys from Stillwater High School that helped film this, and that would be Evan Johnson, Robbie Enright, and Colin Campbell. Thanks, guys. You did a great job. Appreciate it.